Alright, what's up? Let's go ahead and get this build started here in a few minutes. What's up, Angela? What's up, Creamy? How you guys doing? I appreciate the kind words, Creamy. Hope you guys are having a good time in class. Don't want to be too distracting from your schoolwork, but you know, sometimes it's fun to browse Twitch in class. I get it. When I was in college, I used to play some phone games on my some mobile games on my phone while I was in class, little stuff like that. So I totally get it. Totally get it. Let me push the change my title on TikTok. Okay, so here's the Bakeneko. I wasn't thinking I was going to get my extras I ordered from Candy Keys in today, but I did. So we do have other O-rings as well. Not sure which one I want to use yet. No worries, Angela, no worries. Appreciate you stopping by nonetheless. Wanted to look at, double check the O-rings I got. So we have the 70A, the 50A, and the 30A. So I'm thinking we're gonna just try the 50, the one that comes standard with the kit, just to see how that bad boy feels. And then maybe we'll do some checks with the other ones just to see how the other O-rings feel. Since this is technically my first gummy O-ring board, do want to get a feel for the other O-rings and how they feel. So grab those out, and then let's grab, I know I was forgetting some, and grab anything to lube the stabilizers with. That was silly. I think that's all over in my living room when I was lubing switches yesterday. Let me see what I have next to me. See if I have anything that works. No, because my Crytalk's over the two. All right, I will be right back in about 2 minutes. I'm gonna go grab my stabilizer lubing stuff. And I'm back. Oh, you got your D60? Were you expecting the case to be like super thick or something? Is that what you're saying? Let's get this so we can clip these. Clip the feet on these guys. These are cherry clip-in stabilizers, so we do need to clip these. I haven't had to clip stabilizers in a while. Since the last time I built a clip-in with cherry clip-ins, last time I clipped them, but before that, like these last two builds, it's been a while since I've clipped stabilizers. I think last time I actually clipped stabilizers was when I was modding a just a pre-built board with plate mount. Yeah, so that happens because the hot swap they won't have enough room for the hot swap socket with the USB port on those DZ60 PCBs. So those two keys, actually, these two keys up on the DZ60s have to be flip-flopped from the rest of the board so that they have the room for the hot swap sockets. So they'll actually be north facing, like you said. Do I like brass plates? I actually do. I have two keyboards with brass plates. My wife's tofu, and then this actually has a brass plate on it. This is like a polished brass plate, so it's a really cool looking brass plate. But yeah, I have two keyboards with brass plates. I do like them. I want more keyboards with brass plates, to be perfectly honest. I didn't clip this guy, did I? One more to clip. Missed it. It's hiding. There we go. We do need all of these stabilizers that it provided, because they provide you with just enough to do the build. Brass, yes, it's as stiff as aluminum, just with a different sound signature than aluminum provides. The brass is, yeah, it's gonna just provide a different sound signature compared to aluminum, but it's going to essentially feel a little stiffer than aluminum does, I believe. Aluminum's pretty stiff, and brass is like a little stiffer than that, but you get a very different sound signature. Yeah, I'm gonna do it with creams. We're gonna go ahead and do it with the creams. Nice. For what keyboard? you getting the polycarbon brass for? I want to see if I can find a brass plate for the Jelly Epoch. I don't know if there's anyone that makes them. I have to look. That could be kind of fun to get a brass plate for that. Those are honestly both good choices. Boba U4Ts, from what I've heard, are pretty much the go-to tactile switch. They're like the best tactile switch out there. Best all-around tactile switch. And then salmons are actually one of my favorite. I haven't used too many tactiles, but so far salmons are one of my favorites. So they're both great options. Okay. That makes sense. I'm assuming it's just a plastic case then. Yeah, the brass plates are really fun to use, I think, because they help provide a very different sound signature than a lot of keyboards, because not too many people use brass plates, not too many keyboards have brass plates for them. So it can help provide a unique feel and sound when you use one. So you probably do Bobas because of Freebird. So Samus won't sound nearly as good as did in the sound test. Yeah. I can understand. Bobas are definitely a good place or good way to go. Where to buy Bobas U4Ts though? Good question. I feel like I found some recently. So I was also thinking about picking some up, but I went with the Neapolitans and the salmons instead. So I feel like I was gonna buy some bobas. I know Swag Keys has them, but I'm trying to think of where in the US you can buy them. R&D keyboard. Here's somewhere in Canada you can pick them up. You can get them at rndkbd.com in Canada. Okay, let me just put in the link. That might be your best bet. Probably better than Swag Keys. Actually, are they not? It says they're in stock, but it's not. It's showing as they're all sold out, so never mind. The Thok stock shows they're in stock, but they're not. So you'd probably have to get them from Swag Keys. Shipping's gonna hurt a little, but it's not terrible. I swear there was somewhere else I saw them. So I was looking for them recently. Maybe not. Well, that sucks. I'll have to wait to get some too, because I was going to get some soon, but yeah, I mean, again, salmons are really good switches too. And I feel like they're really well priced as well. All of Connect Lab switches seem pretty well priced. I think they fall below that 65 cents a switch price tag. Haven't done the calculations on them though. I believe they do, last I checked. Hey Ace, how's it going? Rip school. Yeah, rip. Safety 6. Yeah, so they fall a little bit under the 65 cents a switch category. Not by much, feel like 60-ish cents a switch, which isn't terrible. It's not a terrible price. There you go. I have not tried Duroc Palms yet. They are on my list of linears to try. Tough thing is, lately I am stuck on a tactile binge. Actually, hold on. Let me turn my light on real quick. A little dark. I've been on a tactile binge the last few weeks. Ever since I tried the salmons, I've been really on a tactile binge. So it's kind of picking up linear switches on the to the side for now. Like, there are a bunch of linear switches I wanted to try, but now currently I'm just like, nope, I want to pick up these tactiles, I want to pick up these tactiles, I want to pick up these tactiles. So Yes, they are. You have to use cherry clip-ins with the Bakenekos. Or at least clip-ins. They don't have to be cherry clip-ins, but they have to be clip-ins. Screw-ins don't work with the Bakenekos. They don't provide enough room for the O-ring. So it's basically cherry clip-ins are the way to go. That's why the Bakeneko comes with them too. That's one of the reasons. After this housing stem combo, I have one more housing stem combo left, and then we're on to the wires. Haven't done any wires yet. I do the wires after the housing and stem. So we're on our last housing stem, then we'll have the wires. So we'll probably be doing this for another 15 minutes or so, maybe, depending on how well the wires go. Gonna start investing more into switches. Gonna try creamsicles, direct palms, more tactiles. So you can expand my switch collection. Do you have any really good overall switches that you think would be good to try? Yeah, expanding your switch collection's always nice, because especially on like hot swap boards, it's a nice way to change up your board without having to, invest in a whole new board. You can just pop out the switches and give your board a nice different feel and a slightly different sound to it. So that's definitely a good way to go. I have probably like 20 different switches, including the ones I have in boards. Some recommendations to try. On tactiles, you already know Boba U4Ts. I haven't tried them yet, but I've heard great things about them, so that's a recommendation. Salmon's obviously that you're also going to be trying those. Based on the other ones you've said, let me think. What do I have in boards? If you haven't tried tangerines, I would get some of those. Same with banana splits. If you haven't tried or don't have some of those, I try and get some banana splits. Those are really nice. Trying to think what else. What else do I have on my shelf? Navies are pretty nice. The A-boards navies are pretty nice. I'm liking those. Put them in one of my wife's boards and she really likes them. I'll give that a go. I really need to get a syringe. Ah, bugger. Why do I always forget to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb? I always forget to do that. So sorry for the mini earthquake. Let me turn that on Do Not Disturb real quick. Alright, there we go. I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb, so there shouldn't be any massive shaking again. Need to add that to my checklist for before I go live to make sure I turn that off. Turn that on Do Not Disturb. I really like Tangies. They're super nice, super smooth. And then you already mentioned creamsicles. I love creamsicles. They're super nice. If you make creamsicles, and you're able to use the tangerine top and bottom. If you have to use the cream top, it kind of ruins this, but you can put the tangerine stem into the cream housings as well. If you have to use the cream top housing for your creamsicles, that does not work, unfortunately, because the tangerine top housing does not fit the cream bottom housing, so you can't use those. So you'll basically have a lot of extra parts just lying around, which just sucks wasting them. But that's why I remade mine when I got creams that fit correctly in the tangerine top housing. That's why I remade mine, because I didn't want to have parts just sitting around. And of course, some other Switch recommendations into tactiles I can give you. Holy Pandas. If you haven't used Holy Pandas, try them out if you can get them. They're pretty nice from what I've heard. I haven't tried them out yet either. If you want to be really adventurous, get some Zycos. Or make some Zycos. They're super expensive though, is the only problem. I think Zycos come out to like $1.60 a Switch if you make them. Yeah, I've seen those. I haven't heard a lot about them, but I've seen those. The cow switches. And then the gift linears I just recently saw. Don't know much about them. What's 60th switch? No, $1.60. So about $1.60 to $1.80 a switch. Yeah, they're Psychos are made with Zeal housings. So, Zycos are a Zeal V2 bottom housing, an Inver B-Sun or Yoke Panda top housing, and a Halo Clear or Halo True stem. True Zycos are a Inver top housing, but again, the B-Sun and the Yoke Panda top housings are basically the same as the Inver. They're just not made by Inver, but they're basically the same. So it's not true Holy Panda or true Zycos unless it uses the Inver top housing, but it's basically still a Zycos even if you don't. People tend to prefer some of the Yoke Panda top housings because they're a little cheaper and easier to get than the Inver top housings. But the Zeal, you have to buy Zeal switches. Then you have to buy Halo Trues or Halo Clears, and then you have to buy the Yoke Panda switches. So you have to buy 3 separate switches to make one. And one of the switches you have to buy, the Zeal V2s are pretty expensive. Zeal V2s are like $1.20 a switch already. So Zeal V2s are already expensive switches. So heck, Zycos might even come out to closer to $2 a switch maybe. That's one of the reasons I'll probably never try true Zycos out. I'll use the switches people have made that are inspired by a Zycos, like Neapolitans and the Harimau switches. Those are both inspired by Zycos. So I'll stick to those instead of the true Zycos because those are super expensive. And I'm not about spending that much on a Switch. Maybe eventually. One point maybe we'll give them a try, but I haven't tried Texie Oreos. I've wanted to because I like the coloring of them, but I have not tried them yet. I personally have mixed feelings about a lot of Texie switches. But it's tough because some of my favorite switches are manufactured by Texie, but then they also have some very mediocre switches in my opinion. Like anything manufactured by Texie labeled as something else are decent. But I've had trouble with some switches that are labeled as Texie. I had the Texie Rubies, and they have terrible, terrible stem wobble. It was really bad. Like, you could sit there and you could twist the keycap like this when it sat on there. You could twist it almost 45 degrees around. It was pretty bad. So I really did not like those. And I had another Tech C switch that wasn't very good. I don't remember the name of it. But things like the Zaku's, the from Bolsa Supply, the Ash Cube Orlights, the Kinetic Labs Huskies, those are manufactured by Texi. So I think it's just the ones labeled as Texi that I've had issues with. But it also could, but the rubies and the sapphires are a cheaper switch. So it could have just been the fact that they are a cheaper switch is why they were so bad to me. Possibility. And other Texi switches aren't too bad. Because like, I wanted to try the Texi Ice Candy switches or the Ice Diamond. I don't remember what they're called exactly. There's a few other Texi switches I wanted to try. And then like stuff I've heard like the Epsilon from Prevail are good. And those are manufactured by Texi as well, I believe. Yeah, they should be manufactured by Texi as well. So Huskies are good switches. I really like them. They're one of my favorites, if not my favorite still. It's tough because I'm really into a tactile binge lately. That's why I got these salmons. They're basically Huskies in a tactile switch. Same construction, same long stem pole, everything just tactile stem instead of linear, and different color, of course, but they're basically the Huskies in tactile, and I like the Huskies a lot, so great switch. I've liked the Huskies so much, I've actually put them in 3 commission builds and one of my own personal builds. Recommended them to 3 different people, so for commissions. Like whenever someone's not looking for a super quiet switch, because they do have a bit of a bottom out because of their long pull, I'll recommend the Huskies if they're not looking for a quieter switch. Not that they're super loud per se. Of course, they're not as loud as something that's like a clicky or something like that, but they have a slightly louder sound because of the bottom out. Because they have that long pull to them. All right, let's get these stabilizers dropped in. Not gonna do a ton of work on these stabilizers, to be perfectly honest. I did a relatively quick lube job on them. And we're not gonna tune them out too much because this is not going to stay in the board too long. I just excited to build this. I'm going to be building the solder PCB during my 24-hour stream next weekend. I'll be making TikToks on that now that I have the flyer for it set up. had to wait to create an event on TikTok till I created a flyer, which took me forever. But I finally created one that I like, so I can go ahead and start telling people, hey, I'm doing a 24-hour stream soon. Got a few different builds planned for it. It's gonna be a good time. Go ahead and plug these. Yeah, I've used Seek 3 equals stabs. Their newest ones, the V3 versions, are really good, in my opinion. Their V3s are much better than the V2s. The V2s were still good. Durocs were better. I think their V3s really compete well with Duroc V2s, so I think they're a good switch. Or a good stabilizer, sorry, not switch. They're definitely a good stabilizer. I still prefer Duroc V2s for most applications, but I do think the V3 equal stabs have a ton of potential to them. And one of the best things about them is they come with a mod pack to easily do different mods to it if you want. I'm not really one to do like a holy mod or anything like that. I feel it pointless. You can get a very well-tuned stabilizer without doing that. But in case anyone likes doing it, they come with that too. So, and then yeah, I'm gonna do a full 24-hour stream. So we're gonna have a stream where we're going for a full 24 hours. It's gonna have probably 4 or 5 keyboard builds on it. I got some commission builds to work on. I have a Thera 75 to build. And for a commission, and we're doing 2 PCBs for it, so we'll probably spread it out across the 24 hours. And I got a couple personal builds, and I'll be doing just some video games in between builds, so we're not doing just like build after build after build. We'll probably, you know, relax, do some video games stuff as well. Really? I don't, that's weird that the keycaps are making the stabilizers tick. I haven't heard of that happening. I have the Acco neon keycaps as well. I put it on my wife's original build. The first build I ever did for my wife, I did with the Acco neon keycaps. And that came out really well. What stabilizers do you have on the GMK Pro? Because it could also be your stabilizers as well. That can also be a common cause of ticking. If you're not using very good stabilizers or they're not lubed very well. That can be a big cause, so just curious what you use for it. And the 24-hour stream is going to be next weekend. I think I have it planned to do from, I want to say 2 p.m. to 2 p.m. Friday to 2 p.m. Saturday. 2 p.m. Eastern. Starting on Friday at 2 p.m. because I get off work early Fridays, so I thought that was a good way to do it. That way on Sunday I can either just sleep all day because I'll be exhausted, or I might drive down to return the commission keyboard build. Yeah. So the only problem with that though too is even taking the lube out of the GMK Pro goat stabs, they're still really bad stabilizers. They're still really bad stabilizers. They have so many quality control issues and so many issues in them that it very well still could even be the stabilizer partially. So I would definitely look into getting some different stabilizers for it if you can. Let's grab keycaps. Just I want to listen to the stabilizers, just make sure they're not atrocious. I'm not going to do too much modifying work on them. I just want to make sure they're not terribly atrocious sounding. Sounds fine there. There you go. That's a good option. I had a GMK Pro and I used C3 equals stabilizers, the V2s on it. And those were pretty good. Last one. Make sure this guy's sounding good. Yeah, those sound good to me. Yeah, I had the V2 C3 equals stabilizers in my GMK Pro before when I got rid of it, and they worked fine. So much better than the original goat stabilizers. I worked on using the goat stabilizers when I first got it, and even heavily modifying them, I could not get them to sound good no matter what. They're just, and not just not sound good, I also couldn't get them to feel good either. That's the other problem. Even if you can get them to like feel really good, they still, or sound really good, they still feel like crap. And that's one of the toughest parts about those. Now, I don't know how well these creams are lubed. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I did not lube these. These were lubed by someone else. So we're gonna see how well these are lubed. My initial checks on them, they seem fine. I didn't check every single switch for consistency and stuff, but this will give me a good chance to see if I need to go through and relube them or not. Yeah, and they're sticky from Glorious because they overlube them, and there's a ton of lube on their pads. Part of the thing is they put pads under them, and you really want to take those pads off. Those pads are super thick. And that can actually also give you a mushy feeling when you have a super thick pad on the bottom of your stabilizers. That's why whenever I do stabilizer pads, I do really thin pads, so you don't get that mushy feeling. I don't have my GMK Pro anymore, not because it's a bad board. I just sold it to someone that really wanted a custom one and didn't want to go through the whole process. So I sold someone local my already built one, and I figure I'm gonna probably at some point pick up a Q1 from Keychron because I really want to give that board a try. For good things about that board, so. After we're done with this build, I'll probably go back to lubing some switches because I do have switches to finish. Almost done with the Neapolitans I was working on. So we'll probably give those guys a finish. I have probably 20 something left. So I think, let's see, came in, got 90 of them, came with 91. I did 3366 plus 268, so I should have like 23 left to finish, which shouldn't take too long. Should be pretty quick. That one fit a little tight. Yeah, it's a popular board, KBD67 Lite. It's a very popular board. It's a good budget board, for sure. All right. Set this guy aside for a second. That way we can get the daughter board out. And actually, I shouldn't install the daughter board yet. Let's go ahead and make sure we didn't bend any pins. I guess we should grab this and this. Make sure we don't have any bent pins. Yeah, I get you. It's hard sometimes. I even struggle sometimes with the keep content. I've been doing a lot of trying to do some of the trending sounds and turning it into keep related stuff lately to help with the keep content because it is tough to keep up with keep content sometimes. Oh, I should have. That's okay. I'll have this on. Where is it? Is it? These are at the top. That's at the top. Perfect. there. Grab this guy real quick. Plug it in. It can be sometimes. Totally can get a little dry. Good. Cool. No bent pins. Excellent. It's what I like to see. But yeah, it's difficult sometimes because there's only so much tech content you can really create. There's only so much good tech content that you can really create, so I get it. We'll use this, like I said, we'll use the standard O-ring. I'm sad when I ordered my extra stuff from Canning Keys for the Bakeneko, they didn't have any extra JST cables and daughter boards in stock when I bought my stuff, which is kind of sad because I was gonna pick up an extra one. It's always nice to have an extra one just in case something happens, but it happens, you know. Bent pins always happen. The more keyboards you build, the better you get at it, for sure. I also feel like the plate you're using and how well the plate's made on a hot swap PCB really can affect how well you're able to do the switches without bent pins too. I feel like I think it does make a difference. Some plates can really have really loose tolerances, and so it doesn't keep the switch very straight when it's going into the plate. And then some plates are a little tighter, so it has a little easier time getting the everything in. So I really like that the Bakenekos come with these cloths. Like all the nice Canning Keys keyboards come with these microfiber cloths in a carrying case. I think that's really cool. It's a really neat touch. Let's go ahead and leave the cable in. I think that's probably going to be the easiest. Leave the cable in. Make sure we're doing it right. Go to the top bit. That's really thing. I don't know. No, we'll just use this guy. Because I don't want to get my screwdriver in there because I don't want to ding up the inside of the case. Yeah, so one of the nice things about the Bakenekos though is it's completely open source. So the plate files and all that are open for anyone to access. So you can actually get places to make you different plates for your Bakenekos. I'm sure. Now, a lot of those places specialize typically in like FR4 and palm plates. So that is kind of sad that the default is FR4 because there's less places that specialize in like custom aluminum plates and stuff, but I'm sure you can get custom aluminum plates cut really easy since you have the plate files for it, or have easy access to the plate files. You can easily just get anywhere to cut you an aluminum plate for it. I'm sure there's lots of places to do it. I don't know off the top of my head where, but I'm sure you can find places to do it. And then, like I said, Green Door Geeks. They're going to be working on at least some case foams for the 65 and probably a plate for it as well. I don't like that bend for it. That is annoying. Let me double check, make sure it looks right to me. I just want to double check their guides. I always like double checking the build guides when I'm working on a build. Yeah, right. It's just a very tight corner, which is not pleasing, but you know. All right. So let's go ahead and get the O-ring onto this bad boy. We're just going to use this guy. Like I mentioned. Stick with this guy. Sure that's right. That looks right to me. Yeah, it's looking right to me. Pins are up, right? Looks like pins are up. Probably should do it this way. How do you do that with the O-ring and that guy? Does it just go like that? That's interesting. Yep. There we go. Now again, let me move this. Sorry for not talking for a few there. I was just trying to make sure. This is my first time putting together a gummy O-ring board, so I'm just making sure I'm doing everything correctly. I really don't like how long the JST on this is. It's a really long cable. I feel like they could have done a shorter cable, but again, whatever. Okay, so the keyboard's plugged in, working. Awesome. So nothing's crimped, anything like that. So I guess all we have left to do is put on the keycaps. Pretty quick and simple build since it's just a simple mounting system. I mean, it's a little more complex than your normal just tray mount, but it's not as complex as some of the gasket mounts you got out there. So I don't want to use PBT Noel for this build today. The only reason I don't want to is I want to save that for the 24-hour stream. So we're going to use PBT Islander. I think it'll match just as well. It's one of my only other light colored sets I have on hand, so I feel like this is going to look good as well. So let's see. Should be these guys all good. Got some good flex to it. We'll use the brown spacebar. Yeah, gummy O-rings are nice. There's a lot of other keyboards that use them. I just have not ever gotten one, and I've been meaning to, so I'm glad the 65 came out because I'm kind of over 60% right now. So I like that this came out because it gave me a reason to get a gummy O-ring mounting. I was going to get the Portal 65 before this came out. Just because I wanted a gummy O-ring style board. Excuse me, but this has definitely been a good pickup. I still might get the Portal, of course, but this has been a nice pickup. Can definitely see some flex in it when I press on it, so that's cool. Yeah, these don't sound too bad. They sound a tad inconsistent, but it's not terribly inconsistent. They feel the same. I do hear a slight difference in sound in a couple of these switches, but I don't think it's too noticeable. They're not up to my personal lubing standards, but they're definitely usable, so I'm not going to go through and relube them. Hey, not bad. How are you doing today? And if you say not bad, I'm going to slap myself in the face with a good old face palm because I walked into that one again. But we are currently just building my Bakeneko65. Facepalm, man. Gotta do it. I said I would. Laugh my ass off. But yeah, so I got this in yesterday. I wanted to do a quick build with it since I have the hot swap PCB it comes with. And I've been really excited to give this board a try. We're going to be doing another build with it next weekend. I have the solder PCB that just came in this morning. I don't know what switches I'm going to put in it yet. So we'll be doing a more formal build next weekend. I have the nice PVT Noel to put on it, so it's going to be a real big build. So big build. So can't remember if there's a different one. There's a different one of these that matches the blue. Let's go. You know what? I don't usually match with the alphas on this, so let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and match the alphas on this guy. Let me get it. I feel like the Bakeneko65 almost sounds a little better than the 60. This zinc weight. The zinc weight has a nice sound to it, I feel like. I haven't personally used a Bakeneko60, and I'll probably, when they restock, I'll probably pick up a Bakeneko60. I've been meaning to. So we probably eventually will pick one up, but I'm definitely liking the 65. Yeah, I love these keycaps so much. These are definitely sick keycaps. I was super excited when I was able to pick these up. We'll go ahead and use the brown accents. Let's see, what do we need down? Do we need anything down here? No, I don't think we need anything from down here because we just need arrows. I thought it came with a brown spacebar, but I guess not. Thought it did. So we'll just stick with the white spacebar. While I'm in here, let me put the 7-unit spacebar back in the case. I had this out for some testing on something else. But yeah, this is one of my favorite InfiniKey keycap sets. They did really well with these, which is surprising because not all InfiniKey comes out well. But these ones came out pretty good. So these are basically modeled after Animal Crossing. That's what the inspiration for these is, Animal Crossing. It's called an InfiniKey Islander, IFK Islander. It was created by the Keydot company and work with a specific designer. It is sold by the Keydot company, and yeah, it was a group by quite a while ago. I was lucky enough to get it at a decent price aftermarket. You can probably find them at a good price aftermarket right now. When it first hit the aftermarket, like most things, it was relatively expensive, but ooh, this top row sounds so good. All right. Let me get it plugged in. Sorry for the shaking camera a little bit. Let me go ahead and mute my mic for a second and I'll get it moved in, then we'll do a quick sound test of this bad boy. Alright, so we're going to do the sound test real quick. This just so anyone who's joined may know, this is a Bakeneko65. It has lubed novelty creams in it, and the keycaps are Infinity Islander. This version has the zinc weight in the bottom as well. The top row is by far my favorite sounding. Yeah, so like I've heard the way the 60 sounds, and I really think the 65 sounds so much better than the 60 did. Not that the 60's bad, but I definitely feel like the 60 has some hollowness to it, and this has a lot less feeling hollowness to it. I'm actually amazed at how little hollowness this feels like it has. I expected it to have a ton of hollowness, but it's just not there. It just really isn't, and it's surprising to me because there's zero foam at all. No plate foam, no case foam, no dampening in the case at all. There's just that zinc weight, which adds some heft to it, of course. I mean, this is hefty too. That zinc weight makes this thing hefty. Like, I don't have a scale at my desk to weigh it, but it feels hefty. I'm actually curious what the weight is. Like, it feels nice and hefty. I know it's an aluminum case, and aluminum cases already are hefty-ish, but like the Savage 65 is aluminum case, and it was relatively light, but man, this zinc weight's nice and hefty. It's got good sound. Whew. I'm very pleased with this thing. This is definitely a fantastic buy for 160 bucks. Without a doubt. And they still have, you know, this shit's still in stock too. It's not sold out. I'm sure the silicone one instead of the zinc sound good too, but this stuff's still in stock, so that's actually really nice too. I think the whitish color only has silicone weight in stock. Dampening wise, it's not going to change it much. The only thing the zinc's going to do compared to the silicone's really the biggest effect's the weight. So if anyone wants this, you know, definitely go check it out on Candy Key's website. And make sure, definitely check it out. $145 if you want the silicone weight as A stock. And if you're okay with B stock, it's $140 with the silicone weight, $160 with the zinc. Also, I did miss the follow since we're doing the type test. Thank you so much, TKL King, for the follow. Greatly appreciate that. Actually, aren't TKL King? I recognize your name. You're from, aren't you in the Keybatics Discord? Am I wrong on that? I recognize your name from somewhere. Definitely recognize your name from somewhere. I could be wrong though. I know I recognize your name from somewhere. Thought it was from the Keybatics Discord, but I could be wrong. Alright, so we finished this guy up. What time is it? It is 1:30. I still got a good hour and a half, so I'm going to go grab the switches I have to lube, and we're going to work on lubing some switches right now. Because we definitely got those to work on. And I definitely want to make sure we get those completed. Especially because of the switches that I'm lubing right now are probably going to be going in this build next weekend. And this guy, when I do this with the solder, definitely going to be putting those in there. So I will be back in like 5 minutes. Go and hang out to some music. And I'll be back in a jiffy. All right, we are back with some switches to lube. I grabbed the rest of my Neapolitans. And creamy. So yeah, with the foam, I was thinking I might have to cut some custom foam of my own for this, because I was worried it was going to be a little more hollow than it is. So I had my foam. I got my EVA foam out that I have. I have a nice little bin of, or a nice roll of craft EVA foam, and I was going to be all ready with that shit, so I can cut some for it to fit the specifications. I wasn't excited to have to do it if I did, just because the little JST connector and that cord's just going to be annoying to cut foam around and everything. But I am glad I didn't have to, because it is not as hollow as I expected. So I heard people had really hollow sounds in the 60s, the Bakeneko60. So I'm really happy that this is not nearly as hollow. I hope the Ace was able to hear that. If not, Ace, I'm reading your mind or something. I knew you were gonna comment and join just as I started saying something about Ace hearing it or not. Yeah, so we finished the build, did the sound test of it. Not sure if you were able to hear it or not. Not sure if you were around when I did it, but thank you for the hydrate creamy. Let me get my water over here. So TKO, so happy you said that, because mine showed up today. Worried. Oh, is it set to 10 minutes? That's annoying. I need to fix that. I have followers only chat on. And when I was using Streamlabs, I had some settings set up, and then I changed some stuff when I went over to Stream Elements, but let me actually alter that right now. I don't remember if that's inside Stream Elements or if that's inside Twitch. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Let me change it. Let me definitely change that. That probably can be annoying. There we go. It was. Do you want to hear it, Ace? We can do another sound test of it, because I know you really wanted to hear this thing. So I can get the sound test set up again real quick. It ain't an issue at all. Say the word and we'll do another sound test of this bad boy. All right. Let me mute my mic real quick and get it set up. Okay. I don't know. I have to work on my ads too. That's another thing I've noticed. I need to check out all my ad settings. Probably go through that this weekend. All right. So I do want you to hear this top row real quick, because this top row is the best sound to me in the whole build. but all right. Let's get monkey type going. I will say this, I may have had the sensitivity on the mic a little high. I won't lie. But what do you mean the sound keeps changing? Like the volume of it, or like the actual sound? Because some of the rows do sound a little different. The top row sounds amazing. And a few of the other rows have a little different sound signature just based on the zinc weights right here. This is where the zinc weight really is. So it's going to have a little different sound right here. I added, what do you mean? No, these are creams. These are creams in here. What do you mean rows switches? I need to add in my build command. I didn't do that. Oh, okay. It could have just been the audio. I did forget to turn off the noise gate. That can alter things a little bit if it cuts in and out and causes some different sounds. No, so the sound profile of the rows, they are all a little different just because this top row and the bottom row are where those little posts for the O-ring are, and then you have the middle rows where the zinc weight is, so it's going to have a slightly different sound signature throughout. And then I will preface, these creams are not lubed by me. I did not lube these creams. I bought these from someone else, got them already, they were already lubed by someone else. There are some slight inconsistencies among a few of the switches. I did notice that a few of the switches have a slightly different sound to them. It's not crazy, and it's not a lot of them, so I do have to preface with that. But overall, I think this sounds amazing. And TKL King, I'm glad yours got there today. That's awesome. I can't wait till you are able to build it and enjoy this amazing board, because whew, for $165, this is great. And I know you said you got the did you get the silicone weight or the zinc one? I can't remember what you said. Because really the zinc, all that's really gonna do is change the overall weight of it. Ultimately, the sound signature of the zinc and the silicone shouldn't be crazy different. It shouldn't provide too much different sound functioning. It's just really going to change the weight of it. So yeah, Creamy, I do keyboard commissions for people. I do builds for people that either want like a higher end build but don't have quite the skills to do them themselves. I guess I don't want to say skills because everyone can gain the skill to do it, but don't have the time to learn to like put together a top-notch board, or people don't know how to solder, you know, or just want like as great a sounding board as they can get. Because I've done boards for people that like they've done hot swap builds before, but they didn't want to go through the hassle of making sure stabilizers were tuned well, switches were looped perfectly. So they commissioned a build from me so that they could get, you know, top-notch stabilizer work. I don't want to toot my horn or anything, but I feel like I do pretty good stabilizer work. And so they wanted, you know, high quality stabilizer. And then there's people that they don't know how to solder, don't want to take the time to learn yet. They'll maybe eventually learn, but for, you know, higher end boards that require soldering, they reach out to me to have me solder the board for them. That's the Thera75 build I have. I believe the person that I'm building it for, they've done other board builds before. But the Thera75 is plateless. It's a little extra to it with it being plateless and solder and everything. So they wanted me to go ahead and build that for them. So I common things like that. If you want to have a build done by me, I don't charge for the build service. It's completely free. The only costs there are is shipping cost. And if you want me to lube and film switches, there's a fee for that, just for materials and time. But even if I'm doing solder builds, I don't charge people to do the actual build. It's all free, and that includes stabilizer tuning. So. And if you want a commission build, use the command !commission. That will give you my build form. You can just fill that out. Or !build service. I lied. I changed it. I'm a liar. I'm so sorry. I changed it. When I switched from Streamlabs to Stream Elements, I changed the command name because I like build service better. It depends. So one, are you just asking that so that like you can set that up for your mic, or do I have background noise? I just want to make sure I don't have any background noise. The ways I do it, it depends on your application. What are you using the mic for? Is this for just like anything school related or video game related? Because there's different ways to do it. A lot of things you can set up, like if you're trying to do it for like OBS, if that's one application, you can set up noise gates and noise suppression filters if necessary. Otherwise, there's probably some apps out there that can do that for you. Gotcha. Yeah, there's probably got to be some noise suppression applications. I think Not Bad said something like Crisp. I've never heard of Crisp. Do you play with a headset on? And they're able to hear your game audio through the mic you're using? Do you use just like, what kind of mic do you use? Do you just use the mic on the earbuds? Then I guess I'm confused at how they can hear your game audio. Do you have your game audio also going through like a speaker or something possibly? Because if your game audio is going through your earbuds, that shouldn't be picked up by your mic. I would assume that wouldn't pick up your mic. Like if I had earbuds on, my mic shouldn't be picking up any of my game audio. Because if they're hearing the game audio, there might be something else going on with how you have your stuff set up. Because I don't feel like they should be able to hear your game audio if you have earbuds on. That seems strange to me. Okay. So let me ask you this. That's interesting. Interesting. Do your friends you play with tell you that people, or the people you play with, do they tell you they can hear your game audio? Or... Because that's interesting. And have you tried just having the earbuds plugged into your computer? Hmm. Is it, so my other question is, were you sharing, your screen with them or anything like that? Because I know voice chats in Discord, you can do that like live thing where you share your screen or people can see your screen. And I'm wondering if that was possibly where they were getting the audio from. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't use Discord voice chats very often, so I don't fully know what audio gets sent to them. It could be something in Discord that was picking up the game audio for some reason. I'm wondering. Wondering if maybe voice chat in Valorant also is something that can be picked up by Discord. The other, because people would be complaining to you in games as well. If they were hearing your sound in your mic, people would be complaining about that. Guarantee it. Every time I'm in a game where people can hear someone's game audio or something through their voice chat, people complain about it because you can use like push to talk and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if it's something on like Discord, the Discord setup where it was picking up your game audio for some reason, or just picking up maybe the voice chat in Valorant game or something like that could have been the thing. I'm not positive. I'm still very new to Discord, honestly. I've never really used Discord calls for gaming either. This is gonna make me sound old, but when I was in college, Discord wasn't super popular yet. I don't even know that Discord was even around when I gamed a lot in college yet. Or if it was very low key, not quite like it is now. So we use Skype for our voice calls during gaming. We almost set up a TeamSpeak server, but no one wanted to fuss around with that, so we just use Skype. And because we wouldn't do video chat with Skype, we would just do voice, of course. But, and I know it's gonna make me sound very old. I am old, but So we got the bottom housings taken care of. Let's go and work on the springs. Already got the lube put in there. So what is everyone up to this weekend? Anyone got any plans for the weekend? I myself, my wife and I were just going to go out of town for a couple days. Just kind of get away from everything. Not have to worry about house chores, work, anything like that. So we're just going to kind of chill for a couple days. We're going to go through the long weekend. But we're supposed to get snow here on Sunday. So we're going to actually come back Sunday instead of Monday. So we don't have to deal with the snow, driving in the snow. I was going to do my 24-hour stream this weekend, but I totally forgot my wife and I had a weekend trip planned, so have to do it next weekend. So I'll probably finish the stream in about a half hour, and I'll make a TikTok about it. I need to make a TikTok live for it. Do you have your background audio off? Are you hearing background noise or something? Is that what you mean? You're probably hearing the spring shaking. As far as background, you're not going to hear any background audio really on my setup. You're probably going to hear those springs I'm shaking them just because they get really loud. I usually mute my mic when I shake up the springs, but the springs just make so much noise. It's pretty much mute the mic or not mute the mic. You mean like this? Or do you want me to go farther away than this even? How about like this? Is that back farther? Far enough? You want me to go farther? I can go farther. I'm gonna run into the table here in a second though. Basically for my mic, it's just gonna start sounding like I'm farther and farther away. The way I have my mic set up, you're basically just gonna hear me farther and farther away. But I have a noise gate set up. I have a noise gate set up so that anything below a certain threshold won't be registered by the mic. And you'll still hear some noises, like once in a while you can hear my keyboard, but in the webcam up right here, you can see my living room TV. My wife can watch TV while I'm streaming and you guys don't hear the TV noises. My mic won't pick it up. And part of that's due to the Go XLR setting I have. But yeah, Creamy, yeah, I saw your message about the 24-hour stream. That's what you're asking, right? You're saying you can't wait for it? Yeah, that's why I had mentioned that I was going to do it this weekend. But since my wife and I are going out of town, I have to do it next weekend. Thank you very much for the follow, Loading V4. Greatly appreciate that. How are you doing this lovely Friday? Hope you're having a good Friday. I am fantastic. We got this Bakeneko build done. Finally something really good to put IFK Islander on for now until I rebuild it next weekend and we put PBT Noel on it. But I haven't had a really good keyboard for PBT Noel for PBT Islander since I got it. I originally liked like white keyboards and everything, the whole setup, but I haven't had a white keyboard since I had I think 6.5. But I didn't have Islander when I had that keyboard, so. Rip. Rip. But thank you. I'm glad you like the way this build looks, Loading. Thank you. Like I was saying, I'm just happy to have a board for this to sit on for a while. It's just been sitting in my desk, not on anything. Because I used to have it on my GMMK Pro, but I had the black GMMK Pro, so it looked a little wonky with the light colors on the black GMMK Pro. So, yeah, this thing's just been sitting in the desk, not being used. Literally don't think I've had it on a keyboard in 4 or 5 months, probably. Put it on my Mint Portico at one point, I think. But... which one? The 60 or the 65? Because the 65's in stock. The 65s are still in stock. Depending on what color you want. Okay. Personally, I think the 65 is a little better than the 60. It's a little less hollow sounding. I haven't tried a 60 in person. But... they should be restocking the 60s soon. That's what the word is. There should be a 60 restock soon. So you can also wait for that. Cause yeah, the pricing on Mech Market Forum can be a little weird. That's what's pretty much held me from getting one as well. Is that it's an in-stock board. Bakeneko's plans to try and always keep it in stock. Of course it's going to sell out, but they're always going to get it restocked at some point. So there's no reason to overspend on it, really. It also depends on if you're okay with B stock or not. I believe there's zinc weighted ones in the B stock. I know some people don't like B stock, some people prefer their A stock, but I know there's other people that are okay with B. I don't own a 7V. The only 7V I've done was a commission build. I thought I thought it might be. I thought the gray one had or the black one had. It's sold out. Yep. Nope, you're right. B stock navy has a zinc still. But really the zinc weight, you can get the silicone weight. The zinc only is going to add heft and weight to it. It's pretty much going to provide the same amount of sound dampening based on both materials. I don't think you're going to get too much difference in the sound. The real thing is the weight to it. So I think silicone is probably just fine. But yeah, loading. I don't own a 7V. The 7V that I've done was a commission build for another person. But over the two, sound and typing feel wise, typing sound, I like this Jelly Epoch more than I like the 7V. That could have just been the 7V build I did. Because if I had 7V myself, it would be plateless, because the plateless sounds amazing. But I really like the Jelly, so it's really tough. I think I would give it to the 7V just because the plateless sound is really good. And it's a really well-designed board. So I think I would probably have to give it to the 7V. Even though I've had limited work with a 7V, the one I did the build with turned out really well, but it was milky yellows on a polycarb plate, which I'm not a fan of too many polycarb plates. That tends to have a slightly muted sound to it, which that one did, but yeah, it's really close between the two. Both are great boards. But like I said, I give the slight edge to the 7V because plateless and the design is really nice. Yes, now I feel like polycarbonate plates with tactile switches are really good. Tactile switches I feel like solves that muted problem a little bit. If you also don't like the muted sound of your tofu, put some tape on the back. Put some masking tape on the back of the PCB. The very first polycarb plate I used was on a GMMK Pro, and it was hella muted. Hella muted. So bad. And then I threw tape on the back of the PCB, and it had actually a better sound after doing that. So, I feel like that does help the polycarb plates a bit. Again, it does also still depend on the switch, but it's always something you can give a try. It's taped already. I also have a lav, so I feel like my switches play in with that. Do you mean like the Duroc lavenders is the switches that are in it? Or are you saying ACO lavender switches? Duroc lavender? Yeah. Yeah, if you have Duroc lavenders in there with a PC plate, that's going to be very muted. I agree 100%. No matter, you could put like 100 layers of tape on the back of that thing, it's going to still be muted. Because those switches are very soft and very quiet already and very smooth. I don't like the lavenders too much, personally. They're all right. They have a super smooth feeling. They do. They feel really good. They have a super smooth feeling, but I just don't like the sound of them. They're a little too like quiet. They almost have a little bit of a not quite gummy mushy feeling to it, but they have a very, very interesting feel to it. And they're very smooth, which is not bad, but they're very quiet because of how smooth they are. That's really going to add to that muted sound of the polycarb plate, I feel like. Like, I did a commission on a GMK Pro for someone with lavender switches on it, and even after we taped up the PCB, it was pretty muted sounding, which the person liked. So as long as they liked it, doesn't matter, but wasn't my cup of tea, I'll say that much. Nice. Zaku's are gonna sound good. Epsilons should sound good, and Amethyst will sound good. I don't know. Trying to think, what are CJs again? I don't know if I remember those switches. May not have seen the gator on CJs. But I know the other three will sound good on the polycarb plate because they all have long pole stems. So you're going to get a bottom out sound, so they're going to sound good. The Zaku's are really good. Zaku's are a great pickup. I have Zaku's in a polycarb plate for my Jelly Epoch without PE foam. And they sound good in that. And I know it's a Jelly Epoch, but it's also a Jelly Epoch without the PE foam. So, I have case foam in my Jelly. I have 2 builds for my Jelly Epoch right now. Out of the 2 builds, one of them has plate foam, no PE foam. The other one has plate foam and PE foam. And then both of them have the case foam in it because I'm a big fan of case foams. My salmon build has PE foam. And my Zaku's build does not have PE foam, but it has the plate foam still. And then before I rebuilt it with the salmons, I had a creamsicle build that had PE foam in it as well. Hey, thanks for the follow, Gragoth. How's it going? How are you doing today? You did. We started with it. It's a pretty quick build since it's a hot swap board. But I do love how it turned out. It looks great and it sounds really good. We did it with some creams. I'll be building this again next weekend with a solder PCB. So if you want to see that, def stop by next weekend. I'll be doing a 24-hour stream with probably 4 or 5 builds. Feel and sound, I really like it. Excuse me. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. So here's my thing. I don't have a ton to compare it to. This is the first gummy O-ring build I've done. I've used tons of like gasket mount boards and stuff like that, but this is the first gummy O-ring board I've ever used and built. So I don't have a lot to compare it on. That being said, it is a tad stiff with the default O-ring. It is a tad on the stiffer side. I do feel that. I've heard the same thing from people that the default O-ring is relatively stiff compared to the Bakeneko60, which it makes sense. It's a bigger board. So it's going to be a little stiffer. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for stopping by, Creamy. Have a great rest of your day. So let's take a look at this. We'll see if you can see the flex in it. Doesn't have a ton. You can kind of see it moving a little. Might be hard to see at this angle. I'm not gonna lie. The top is really stiff. The bottom's a little less feeling stiff. There is some flex to it. The top is a little stiffer feeling. Right here's got some good flex to it. Down here, and then this got some good, decent flex to it. Now, haven't tried it yet, but we do. Thankfully, they do have, 3 different O-rings for it. You got the even stiffer 70A, and this really flexible 30, right? So this is going to provide I feel like this is going to give you good flex, because this guy's stretchy. I am curious because this guy's very tight. Like, this is going to be fun to get around the PCB. I'm not going to lie. Yep, I got all the O-rings as well, and I'll tell you why that is, because it's always exciting to build a new board. I got tons of board. Let's see, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 built boards right now. And I was still super excited for this. Part of the reason I was super excited for this is I've never done a gummy O-ring build before. But that is part of the reason I was excited. Oh wow, that is a ton of boards, yeah. That is a ton of boards. I've only been doing keyboards related stuff and for probably 6-7 months now. For sure. I like to try out budget boards too. I still need to try the KB67 Lite. Because I've heard a lot of people like that, but I'm not a huge plastic case fan. I'm still gonna try it, but yeah, and I mean, it's also nice to try out the budget boards because it allows you to help people get good recommendations too. People come to you like, hey, you have a lot of keyboards. What would you recommend for, me? I want a budget board that's like this. And you're like, oh, I got so many good budget board recommendations. So it's always nice to have budget boards to make sure people are, getting good recommendations from you and such. It's always also nice to try new things, So many of the budget boards, a little different, little nice things to try. I get you. I understand the whole more clack pop than thock. I can get behind that. Totally get behind that. Yeah, for sure. Exactly. For sure. 100%. Like, could you imagine having something like a key colt and traveling often with that thing, that would be just stressful. You know, some like a key colt or something, that would be stressful, or a unicorn, right? That kind of shit would be stressful. But you pick up that KB67 Lite, you just throw that in your bag, travel with it wherever you need to, and not worry about it. So, hold on. Dang, my throat's getting a little dry here. Let me get some water. How do you like the frog loading? That's one of the TKLs I've been wanting to try out. The 2 TKLs on my list to try are the frog and the Mr. Suit. Yeah, I love the design of the frog. I think the frog looks super nice. The F1 8X. I've heard of it. I haven't seen too much about the F1. I've heard of it though. Gotcha. In the hunt for a snow F1 or KFE. I'm thinking about trying to pick up one of the Glacier 80s today. I think the design of that's pretty good looking. It's going to be a fun one to try and get because there's only 200 units of it, but I am going to give it a try at least. I'm not going to join the group buy for the... I'm not going to try and join the group buy for the Glacier 80. The Glacier 80 sale happens today. Yeah, it's a nice one. I'm going to try and get it, but... if I don't get it in the in-stock sale, I'm not going to go for the group buy part, because I'm moving in 2 to 3 months, and the timing's just not good to make sure I get it to the same one. So I was between trying to do this Mammoth 75 or the Glacier 80. I want another TKL more than I want another 75 because I have a Primus and I have a Jelly Epoch. And I'm going to be picking up a Q1 at some point. So I'm like, I don't really want another 75 yet. I want to try and get another TKL. The only TKL I have is the Time 80, which I absolutely love. So I do want to get another TKL though. I love the Time 80, the way it looks. The sound's alright. It's got a very unique sound to it with the hollowness to it without any foam. It's definitely not a bad hollow sound with the top mount, but that's more of a looker board. just because I absolutely love the way it looks at the bottom with the clock on it. Especially the way the lilac color looks with the pink accents on the bottom. It's one of the most gorgeous boards I've ever seen. But I don't know if I know what the KFE that you were talking about loading in TK. I don't know if I know which one that is. I'll have to look into that guy. Take a look what that looks like. I do like that TKLs are starting to feel like they're starting to get a decent amount of love lately with the Mr. Suits, the Glacier 80. It's kind of nice seeing some nice TKL boards. I was glad to get the Bakeneko because I don't have very many 65% boards. Have you seen are you not liking the round 3 colors? Did you see those ones? Or are you talking more about some of the other Mr. Suit colors? Because when they do the round 3, I love the way the round 3 colors look. The baby powder golden with glossy golden chamfer. Yes. So, if I were to get any Mr. Suit outside of the round 3s, I would probably get the one you said you have, TKL King. That's probably the one I would go over. That one looks really nice. Yes. And I really like the pink one they have. I think it looks really pretty. I love that color of pink. And then of course, if they didn't get the pink one, that purple one's also a really nice color. But I just have too many purple boards, and that's the only reason I wouldn't get that one. I have 3 purple keyboards at the moment. So I need to diversify my colors a little. That's why I picked up the white Bakeneko, because I don't have any white keyboards. It wasn't my favorite color one. My favorite color Bakeneko was the lavender. I think that one looks amazing. But too many purple ones. Going to rebuild your Mode 80 today? Nice. How do you like the Mode 80? I've been thinking about picking up a 65. The Mode 65 I've been thinking about picking up. One of the only reasons I've been thinking about picking up the Mode 65 as well is because I miss carbon fiber plates. See, I don't mind stiffness in boards. I'm not a flex chaser. I don't chase super flexy boards. I don't care about that. I care more about the overall typing feel than the flex it provides, you know? And I feel like there's nothing wrong with a stiff board. Yeah, I know. I need to get on top of that. I really want the Mode 65 because I love carbon fiber plates. I really do. I had the Space 65 with a carbon fiber plate and things sounded amazing. And part of that was the way the banana split sounded on the carbon fiber plate. Nice. Oh, you picked up the white mammoth? Which mammoth did you go for, Turtle? Did you get one of the really limited mirror bottoms, or did you go with the sandblasted bottom? Yeah, it has a good sound to it. Oh, really? I've heard a lot of people roasting the knob on the mammoth because of how big the knob is. I've heard a lot of people roasting it. Yeah. So like I thought the mirror brass one, the PVD brass one, absolutely gorgeous looking, but at $700, whew, is expensive. But it is also beautiful looking. So. Oh yeah, the demand for the mammoth. Oh yeah, a lot of people like the knob. I've also seen a lot of people roasting it, which is, gonna happen. I think, obviously people do like it, otherwise it wouldn't be being bought the way it is, and, it wouldn't have been going into the group buy probably if people didn't like it as much, so. Is even the normal aluminum bottom on the mammoth sold out? The just sandblast aluminum? Did they sell out all that, or is there still some of that? So I know the mirrored ones were hard capped, but isn't it a soft cap on the sandblast aluminum? And yeah, knobs are really popular for people into photo editing, video editing, like you said, Turtle. Photoshop, Premiere Pro, a lot of people will use the knobs for that. So a lot of people like stuff like GMK Pro and Q1 with knobs for those reasons. The 75% with the knob for editing and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I thought, because I know the sandblasted aluminum is it's a soft cap, so that one shouldn't sell out too fast. So I might jump on that if I don't get the glacier. August is just so long to wait, though. That's the only downside. August is a while to wait. I am impatient. I know it's not as long as like a lot of keycap group buys and everything, but I'm impatient. August is too long of a wait for this impatient person. That's why I'm in very few group buys. That's why I'm in like 3 group buys, because I'm too impatient for it. I will just buy stuff that's on secondary market now and wait for the stuff that's in group buy now to be in the secondary market at a later point. instead of waiting. That's why I do like a lot of the Owl Labs boards. They like to do in-stock drops, even though they can be small sometimes. They do like to do the in-stock drops, and I like that. Yeah, and again, it could be worse, right? August isn't the worst. Some keyboards are longer even. Some, and all keycap sets are longer than that. So Alright, I'm super happy to almost be done with these Neapolitan switches. These are actually what are going to go in the Bakeneko when I build it next weekend. I'm thinking I'm going to be putting these Neapolitans in it. The main reason I'm going to put these in it, one of the main reasons is the top color, casing color, the top housing color, that's what I'm looking for. Jeez. Is going to go well with the pink color on PBT Noel. So otherwise I was actually gonna put this in a different board, but I think the way this sounds, I think will work fine with the tactile switches, and the color of the top housing just gonna go really well. And I like trying to make some color matching happen with switches and stabilizers and stuff like that if possible. I know it's something you can't see. It's just the little things that, you know, I enjoy doing, because it gives me a sense of satisfaction that I know, you know, that switch color matches the keycaps a little bit, you know, goes well with them. So it's not something I will, you know, go out of my way. Like, I won't use a switch in a build just because it doesn't match the keycaps, but if I can match the keycaps in the switches, I do. So it's like a bonus thing to me. So is there any other boards anyone's looking forward to that are coming out soon? I know there's, like I said, the Glacier, the Mammoth came out this morning. The Glacier 80 is later this evening. And then I heard there's going to be SAT 75 extras soon. This month at some point there should be SAT 75 extras on Canon keys, I believe. So I'm also kind of looking out for that a little bit, because I do like the way that board looks. F2 restock, yeah. There you go. Do we know when that's going to happen? Or is it just another soon type of restock? Gotcha. It like I said, it may be one of those just soon restocks. I was just curious if you knew. So I haven't looked too much into the like F1 and the F2 a whole lot. I've heard of them and I know what they are, and I know people like them. So yeah, for sure. I don't know. Endgame is such a hard thing to find. I feel like Endgame is so hard to find. I will say if there was any board that was in-game for me, it would be the 7V, honestly. But I say that, and then there's going to be other boards that are, you know, also really nice that come out. I mean, there's even some other boards that are really nicer than that have come out, but I wish they'd do a second. I wish Gawk would do a second round of the 7Vs. I don't know if that'll ever happen or not, but would be nice. All right. So that's the last of those switches. It's just about 3 o'clock, and this is about when I was planning on ending my stream anyways. So I do think we are going to go ahead and end it there. I do think I'm going to go ahead and try and raid someone. Let's see if there's anyone on to raid right now. I don't know if it's a weird time, but we're going to take a look. Let's see. It is a weird time on a Friday, so I don't know if there's going to be anyone on. Let's see if we can find a smaller person to raid, maybe. This person's seems to be having a chill lubing stream, it looked like. So maybe we will just go ahead and raid that person. Lubing some wildlife switches. Oh, the Penus. Oh, those are nice switches. Maybe we'll raid this person. I love the Haramau from that group. I wish I could have got some of those. But all right, so like I said, that's going to be all for today's stream. Thanks everyone for joining. We had a great Bakeneko65 build today. Got the rest of my Neapolitans lubed, so these will be going into this guy next weekend. As I've mentioned a few times, for the newer people, I'll mention again, I do have a 24-hour stream coming up next weekend. I'll be doing 2 Thera 75 PCB builds and a few of my own keyboard builds, Switch Couture Alice, this Bakeneko65. I'll probably do a Time 80 rebuild since I have another PCB for that. And then we're going to play some video games in between, probably some Valorant, Apex Legends, stuff like that in between builds just to break them up a little bit. So, but thanks everyone for hanging out with me. It's been a fun build. I am going to go ahead and raid this person real quick. Let me... There we go. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Turtlecat, Loading, TKL, everyone else. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Have a great rest of your day and have a great long weekend.
You apparently called Nabi that. Unless you're calling Nabi a liar. Are you calling Nabi a liar?